Hey folks, we're gonna do a little video about amortization here. Um, I thought we'd get some applied stuff going on, so I've taken the opportunity. Um, I have taken the opportunity to set up for you guys. Um, oh yeah, here's my student loans now. Um, let's see. Let me make sure. Just make sure y'all can see what I'm saying. And you can. Okay, good. Here we go. Well, here's the amortization table that we've kind of introduced in class so far. Um, Here are my student loans. They don't look like money yet. I wonder if we can fix that. I could go to the Format tab here, but there's actually a shortcut right here. Boom. Formatted like money. Bam. Let's see. Now you can't see it all, right? So I'm going to come up to the top here. You see where I can make that? I could move it manually, and so I can see the whole number, right? But I can also double click and it will resize it exactly to the size of the window. Yeah, and I can do that with all of them. So it will size it to the largest, the widest cell there, right? I could also do a similar thing here, but I don't need to. Anyway, short story long, um, they don't give you your student loans in one big chunk. There's all these amounts, with this being the largest one. Um, yeah, and so this is actually a pretty typical profile for student loans. Started out small when I was working. As my classes got harder, and actually my family had some health trouble down here, I had to take out more loans. And finally, I had to take out the maximum unsubsidized loan last year. Um, so that's the problem child right there. That's been growing ever since I took it out. So let's see here. I could, um, well, I don't think I will, just for the sake of my own privacy. I'm not gonna show you guys the actual form I pulled these numbers off of. But well, let's get down to it. I want to analyze paying off all of these loans. And so first, I want to confirm that each one of these payment amounts is correct. So let's go through there. I'm on the standard payment plan right now. So let's just check our work. I'll call this check payment. All right. And well, doesn't want me to resize that one. Oh, there it goes. All right. Check payment. So we should get a 31.15 in this monthly payment column when I put in the right numbers here. So first of all, um, let's see. Let's practice some cell addressing, why don't we? Instead of just typing the number in here, I'm going to write an equals sign. Then I'm going to click on this cell. Boom. Yeah. Okay. Now it says 11:15, and you could be saying, "Oh, well, that's wrong. So we must be doing something wrong." And yeah, we haven't filled in all the numbers yet. So let's put in a 6.8 right there. All right, that updated a little bit, but the term of the loan is also too long. So if I change that to 10, hmm, so we have a slight disagreement here. Put equals um, this cell in there, because why not? Yeah, okay. Um, yeah, seems like they're asking me to pay a little bit more. Now, is there anything else in this setup that I'm forgetting? Um, I don't think so. I think they're asking for a little bit more in fees. Not too much, but just a little bit more. Um, I don't know. Maybe they already think I've had a 10th year. And you see, you can just play with these numbers, play with the term. But a 10-year term is the standard. I just got off the phone with somebody that told me so. So we're going to go with that. Um, aha, maybe the problem is this additional payment column. Hmm. Somebody asked me today, how do I get rid of all those additional payments I've made? Well, I've clicked on the first cell, right? Got the first cell highlighted. Let me scroll all the way down. Scrolling's taking too long. Let me drag that. And I'm going to hit Shift. So I'm holding Shift and I'm going to click. And it highlights everything in between those two cells I've clicked on. And then I'm just going to hit the delete button. Okay. Now let's scroll up. All right. Um, well, I thought that would have changed a little bit, but I guess it doesn't. So, what can we analyze from this? Um, well, here's our principal paid. So this is the amount we're paying to the principal. About 15 bucks a month. Not a ton, right? Not a ton, but it is going up as we pay down the loan and the interest takes up less and less of our monthly payment. So what if, let's do like a what if. What if I paid my interest plus the actual payment every time? What if I just said this additional payment was going to be equal to the interest I owe every month? Okay. Oof, I already saved $13. Well, let's repeat this down the column. So I'm going to hold over here till I get the plus sign. If I want to do just a couple cells, I can drag down. And you see this one now says equals E16. E16 is the next interest I pay, right? Um, well, I want to do this for the whole damn column. So why don't I just come here and double click? And it doesn't work. So why don't I just delete these cells, come here, and double click? Yay, it worked. Now let's take a look. It says I've saved $327. That seems worth it. I've reduced my loan by 58 months. 58 months, gentlemen and ladies, and everybody in between. What is 58 months? 58 months over 12. That's four, almost 5 less years I'll be paying on this loan. Now, is that always financially feasible? If I had only that one loan, sure, but not in general. Okay, so that told us something. Um, I could do the same thing going down the line, right? Um, I'll change this to equals the next line, right? So I just wrote an equal sign and then clicked on the cell I wanted to take the value of. And there it fills it in for me. Have the same interest, so that's no surprise there. And if I keep doing that, if I keep paying my interest plus my payment, again, I'm saving 58 months on this loan. A little less dollar amount, but you see the loan dollar amount is a little less too. Um, and they're saying 24.49 again. So let's just, sometimes it won't recalculate unless you hit enter on these cells. So let's just make sure, hit enter on all those cells. Yep, okay. So, oh crap, okay. I did not record this number, so now it's updating over here. Let's fix that real quick, shall we? Equals, enter. There it is. There it is. All right. And let's okay. So now instead of using cell addressing, I'm literally going to go Control C when I have that cell highlighted and Control V over here. It's going to ask for paste options. I say paste values only. And there it is. Um, all right. I can come through and do the same thing here. I can say this equals, oops, I'm probably not going to do that though. So yeah, let's get into it, right? So my next one, enter, same interest, so I don't have to change that. I could do that by going equals and just click on the cell with my interest in it, right? Boom, same formatting, everything works out, right? And now this one, it looks like I have a 24.49 monthly payment. So yeah, what the student loan service has calculated, that didn't work for some reason. What the student loan service has calculated for me is a slightly better payment schedule than this amortization table's given me. I'll be done slightly faster than this amortization table's predicting, right? It's like a few bucks, right, every time. So there's got to be some fee happening here. That's my thought. Still, this is not quite right. Paste values only. All right, so it believes that that cell is dollar formatted already. Go figure. Um, one more time here. 2857. Copy. Paste. Values only. Hmm. Well, if someone knows why that happened, I'd be interested in finding out. But it don't much matter because we're about to copy or highlight all of these. Um, all right, so what have I done here? I've changed my term. I've changed my loan amount. I've changed my interest rate, both with cell addressing and a copy paste. Um, I've played with adding an additional amount equal to the interest I paid every month. And we saw that that can reduce your loan amount, both your loan term and the total cost of the loan significantly. How much? Well, let's think. I saved 327.50, right? So the if I clear out the additional payment column, scroll back up, okay. So the total interest paid was 945. So like we could say 327 divided by, I better put an equal. So anytime you're doing math in Excel, you got to put an equals. What was it? 327 was what I saved. We'll divide that by 945.74 plus the cost of the loan, right? That would be 2482.50. And so yeah, I've just divided, and it looks like I saved almost 10% just by paying down my interest and letting my monthly payment go um, entirely to the principal. So it's a good trick, right? You can't always afford to do that, but it's a good trick. So, I mean, basically, what am I doing here? I'm being skeptical. I'm checking the federal government's work so that I'm not being taken advantage of, right? So let's keep doing it. Equals. Now we're starting to get into the serious loans. Um, but it's good news because this one has some seriously low interest. So we'll change that cell too. That same technique where I write an equals and then click on the cell I want to grab the value of. Hey, this one actually says I need to be paying more. So I honestly can't tell you what the difference is between these two. It could be a saving decimal places issue. It could be that the formulas the Fed loan people use are slightly different. But we're talking dollars out of um, thousands of dollars, right? Not a huge deal. All right. So this one says 5623 value values only. All right. Yeah. Now we have this mystery still. Um, hmm. What if I deleted that? What if I did another equals and another click and another enter and another equals and another click and another enter? 2449. Hmm. Hmm. Well, it's annoying, but I can't figure out why it's doing it, guys. Go figure. All right. Copy, copy. Um, I can clear the formatting of that cell. So what did I do? Go there. I went to Format, Clear Formatting, Control and slash, backslash. Um, paste, paste values only. Oh, well, that one's still special. Who knows why? Um, okay, coming down here, keeping on going. Um, this one has an even better interest rate. This is when, as if you want to know why these interest rates are so low, you should ask um, former President Barack Obama and the Congress that helped him pass lower interest rates for student loans. Um, and yeah, that's what's going on here. Again, slight rounding error problems. Still not sure what's up with that, but point is that this table is fine for predictions, right? It gets me very close to the real amount. Ah, there is a rounding error happening. A little bit there. You know, okay. Um, not a huge deal still. Um, okay. So coming down, here's a tiny one at a tiny interest rate. And you can start to get an idea for how interest rates, loan terms, and initial amounts all affect how long it takes to pay off a loan, as well as additional payments can shorten your loan time by quite a bit. Um, let's see. So let me change the interest rate on that. So what's the idea for loans? You always want to get the lowest interest rate you can. You always want to pay as much as you possibly can. Um, and you want to pay as much as you can per month every time. And you want to try not to get in debt in the first place, guys. That's the big lesson. Um, I'll tell you right now, if I had this to do over again, I would have worked more while I was in school. And that's not often something somebody tells you, right? A lot of times people are like, "Oh, take a load off, focus on your classes." And that's a reasonable thing, but know that this is coming down the pipe. I don't really have to change my interest rate, but I will. 919, I get 920. So when I get back on the phone with my loan officer, I'm going to ask, "What's going on here? What's going on here?" Um, yeah, because that should be 920, not 919. It's almost like they truncated instead of rounding up. Go figure. All right, let me do a couple more here, and then we'll be done with this part. Loan amount. So I'm saying equals L22. Boom, that fills right in the cell. My interest rate is the same, so I'm not going to change it this time. Again, we're bouncing around our numbers a little bit. And finally, the big one. The big one. Yep. And this one does not have a nice interest rate, let me tell you guys. Let's play with this one a little bit. Because these other ones, I can probably afford to pay on the interest for a while and pay just a very little bit to the principal. But this one's got to go. Um, and this is another thing that I'm hoping to teach you guys while we're doing this amortization table is you pick your bigger loans and pay them down. without letting these loans balloon on interest. You always want to pay at least your interest on a loan. Always pay at least your interest on loans. Okay, I wrote it down, right? So you guys are going to write it down. Um, uh, Professors told me that when I was in school. I did not. I never figured out if it was true or not. Students only write down what you say. Okay, so I'm paying 5 grand um, in interest on this sucker. That's a ton. That's way more than any of these other loans gave us. Let's just check our numbers. So it's 1832. It's over 10 years. It's at 6% interest, and they're giving me a slightly different monthly payment again. Um, Again, once I ask my loan officer about this, I'll tell you exactly why. So a little formatting first. Let's go ahead and highlight these cells and hit this $sign button up here. It even says, do you want to format this as a currency? Why, yes, I do. Thank you for asking. All right, so I'm getting slightly different numbers, making me a little nervous, but at least I did it, so I know what questions to ask, right? Why, when I use an amortization table, I get almost the same answers for these loans and not for these? This would be a good time to go back and check my interest rates. I'll, I'll just let you guys see the PDF. It won't be that embarrassing for me. Um, oh, it must not be closed. Um, Here we go. It's over here. Top two are 6.8. Bottom one is 4.6, or the third one's 4.66. All right. So did I in fact use 6.8 in here? I think I would have had to because I showed it as a 6.8 interest. Um, anyway, let's play with this one a little bit more. I'm paying a lot of interest at first, if I could afford to, and that'll be my personal budget. I'll figure out if I can later on. Let's just say I paid down that interest every time. Woof. Okay. So with additional payments, I'm saving almost $2,000, and the loan is 66 months less long. 66 months less long. Yeah, that's a real sentence, right? It's just, yeah, 5.5 years shorter I'll be paying this loan just by increasing my payment a little bit. Um, what if I said to myself, and this is an option in student loans, what if I took the 30-year option here? Woo, do you guys see this right here? That's why you don't take the 30-year option on your student loans. And with additional payments, I'm saving more, but I'm paying a lot more too. So let's take that back down to 10 years. Yeah, there we go. So if I can afford 200 bucks a month on this guy, I really should be paying 300 bucks a month on him, right? To get that 66-month reduction in the term. So what am I actually going to do? What's the actual best option for this? The actual best option is to pay interest. Absolutely pay my interest. Um, how would I predict my interest for this? Well, let's do a little more, couple more Excel tricks. So I would like to add another column right here that just says interest payment. So I highlighted those 3 columns. I'm going to drag them over one. Okay. And really, guys, label your columns. Um, interest, interest pay. Okay. I don't like it stacking like that. So I'm going to come back up here and double click again to make it resize it. And it wants to stack those instead of resizing. So I'll drag it myself. All right, so how do I calculate my interest payment? Well, that's going to be my first month's interest payment. Keep in mind, every time I pay on the principal, my interest gets less. So this is just for the first month here. Well, I'm going to write an equals because I'm about to do some math. I'm going to do this cell times this cell. What did that give me? And hey, look, since I formatted this as a percent, it's even giving the right multiplication, right? Is it giving the right multiplication now? Because the interest I pay over here is this much. Okay. Well, you can always get a little less sophisticated. 0.068. Oh, oh, oh. 0.068 times my loan amount. Yep, that's 168 bucks. What's the problem here, guys? What's the problem here? I'm thinking of the answer. I want you to pause this video and see if you can't come up with the answer. All right, did you pause it? I'm watching. Sorry. Anyway, the riddle here is that this is compounded 12 times a year. Answer to the riddle, why is the interest I owe less than the interest I'm predicting here? That I didn't divide this sucker by 12, right? This is a compounded monthly kind of thing. Probably the only time compounding interest on loans really acts in your favor. So my first monthly payment, now my interest looks tiny. Because we're looking at the wrong loan, right? So let's do the same thing for all of these. In fact, let's do some hard coding so we can make this easier, or some soft coding rather. So I definitely want to multiply the principal. See how it's highlighting the cells I'm using already? And then I want to do like a parentheses, this cell divided by 12, correct? Yeah. And what am I going to do? I could drag it down, right? It's not too many cells, but just to review, take it to where I get the plus sign and I double click. Boom. 9016, 9016. Now we're predicting our interest exactly. Um, so I think I'll leave it there. I hope that was a lot of tips and tricks. I hope you guys have some fluency with this table now. Um, and I think that's enough. Um, thanks so much, guys. Um, let's see here. Oh, there I am. There I am. One more thing I'll show you guys. Whoa.